Orbit. This is very close to the end of Blake 7, the entire series. This is a great episode. I kind of love it. There's a few things with Avon, which we're going to discuss a little bit more detail than normal. There's a scientist named Agorian who has developed this amazing weapon. You can basically target anything you want in the galaxy, press a button, and that thing blows up. So he wants to trade that weapon for Orac. So of course Avon and his team have to check this out. He asks him to land in a certain spot, and that spot's a little further away than it could be. They could land on this other platform, but there's already a ship there, and that ship belongs to Servalan because it's a trap. She wants to kill Avon and his team and get Orac, and Agorian and his assistant are trying to make it happen. So a lot of good stuff with this one. We're going to use my space system: story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 and 2. 2 is the best you can get. I'm giving the storyline a 2 out of 2. There's a lot of great stuff here. First of all, there's the side character of Pinder, who's really neat, which we're going to talk about in the characters. But there's stuff with him where he's aged because of some exposure to this certain ray or whatever. Servalan is in place. Agorian is an interesting guy. Avon and his team are well, it's really Avon and Vila. The others don't do as much, but it's very intricate because they're dealing back and forth. They're double crossing each other. I really like this kind of stuff where you're like, Avon feels like he's always on one step ahead, and then you're like, oh no, maybe he's not one step ahead. Oh no. So it's a lot of back and forth. I thought it was great. It's an interesting story. We're going to talk about the Avon Vila ship thing in the end. The pacing, I'll give it a 2. I thought this was like nail biting. I'm like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen? Are they gonna get this weapon? This can't be real. Is this a real weapon? No, they can't. They're gonna give up Orac? What? This guy's a liar. A lot of great stuff. So yeah, pacing is great. Artistry, I'm also gonna give it a 2 out of 2. There's landing and taking off. There's ship stuff. There's explosions. I like Agorian's lab. It looks pretty good. I like his little ship, his little shuttle that brings them there. That's pretty good. So good look. There's a number of locations. There's some effect shots. Ship flying off and stuff, so that's pretty good. Look, it's Blake 7. We know that it's an older show. We know that the budgets weren't huge. They did the best they could. I really think it looks good. I can't wait to see the Blu-ray where they updated some of the effects. That's going to be very interesting to see. I don't know if it'll take away some of the charm, but I'll see how it is when I get it. Characters are 2 out of 2. I'm going to put an asterisk on that because we're going to get back to it. And an enjoyment factor is also 2 out of 2. I'm giving this one a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love it. Okay, let's go back to characters. Agorian is great because he's a super scientist. He's a genius, but he's also insane and madly in love with Servalan, which makes him a very interesting character. He's like, oh, Empress, I want to do everything for you. Please, please, I love you. Pinder's an interesting character because he was young and aged 50 years through this accident, and they're planning on leaving him behind. So he's like, hey, screw this. So he actually comes back and gets a little bit of revenge in the end himself. Avon, of course, is great. Avon and Vila, we're going to talk about those two in a second. Servalan is super on fire in this episode because she obviously detests Agorian, and the actor who's been in Yes Minister, he's a great actor, and he's been in a few other things, Brain Donors. I can't remember his name. They really made, he is not that ugly looking. Like, they made him uglier. They made him super bald with just the hair coming here, the egg, he's got like an egg head with like hair, and he's got this big mole here. That's all fake. The actor does not look like that, so they made him look ugly on purpose because Servalan is just grossed out by him, and but he's devoted to her, so pretty good. And there's a few times where she's like, "Get up, Agoria," and like it's like, "Get up," and she's like just annoyed with him too. So good. All right, the big thing here is that the trap is that once Vila and Avon get back on the shuttle, they're gonna crash, and then they're gonna be able to get Orac and their weapon back. While there, they realize they have to shed weight, so they start to strip the ship, dump everything that they can. They unfortunately have to dump the weapon. What was it called? Techno something? There's like a tachyon weapon or something. They have to dump that. So there's about 73 kilos, 70 kilos, something like that left. And they're like, well, we're gonna crash this ship because we can't take off. We can't reach orbit. So what are we gonna do? And then Orac says, well, Vila weighs 70 kilos. It's like, oh, and then Avon's like, so Vila overhears that and hides, and then Avon is like, come on out, Vila, help me out, I know what to do, because he's planning on shooting him and dumping him. Now, I love Avon, he's my favorite character, and this kind of disturbed me, although I thought, well, but I talked to my good friend Clobberin times, whose channel is linked in the description of all my videos. He was a super massive Ultra Blake 7 expert, and he explained to me that the way that Avon was talking, it's like, oh, Vila, come out. I need your help. And he's got the gun. And that was to say that he almost subconsciously really didn't want him to come out, right? Like, that's not how he normally talks. So obviously Vila would have picked up on the fact that, hey, why is Avon sounding so nice and weird? Something's wrong. I'm not gonna, right? So he was tipping him off saying, you know, don't come out because I don't want to have to kill you. Would Avon have shot him? I don't know. Maybe he would have, to save himself in the very end if he had absolutely no other choice. And you can see this in the show because as soon as they figure out that there's that cube with that compressed plastic cube, which is like super, it weighs like a bunch of, I don't know, they didn't say the weight, but it weighs a ton. Not a real ton, but it weighs a lot. But it's just compressed, right? So they just need to push it off the ship and like dump it. Once he realizes that he has to, he's like, Vila, no, come on, I really know what to do. Come on, hurry up, help me. And you can see he goes right back to talking like Avon. Vila, come out now, come on. So that was very good. At first I didn't know how to feel about it, but I feel much better about this episode because I do love Avon. I do like that he's ruthless and he'll do whatever it takes. But I was like scared. I was like, don't kill Vila. Like, don't put him in that situation. There's a different situation he's going to be put in the last episode, which we're going to talk about. But yeah, I love this one. 10 out of 10 is friggin' awesome. Man, season 4, there's been a lot of 10s, so I really have been enjoying it. But anyways, guys, that's it. In the comments below, let me know, what do you think about this Avon Vila thing? Would Avon have pulled the trigger? I think maybe he would have if he had to. Did he want to? I don't think he wanted to, and I think he was tipping off Vila by acting in that way and saying, oh, Vila, come out. You know, like, that is weird, right? Even if I was saying that to my friend, they'd be like, why is Jay talking weird, right? Anyways, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time.